Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and in this video, I'm going to review Season 4, Episode 1 of the season premiere of Pretty Little Liars, A is for a Lie. I kind of gave up on this show last season. It just started to get really repetitive, and it wasn't as good as it used to be, I thought. But then I heard about the season finale, and I was so amazed, and so what I did after that was I'm like, oh my gosh, I should have watched the season finale because it is so good now. Honestly, this is some of the best. This could possibly end up being the best season of Pretty Little Liars we've had. It could be that good. And I really think it could be because if you don't know, the creator of the show actually said, this is the season of answers. You know, we've gotten all these questions and we're finally getting all these answers. And we got some in this episode, even. And, so yeah, I watched the season premiere, and it was just a really, really good premiere. So, of course, if you don't know, which I did not, but if you don't know, what happened pretty much was that, by the way, I know about this because I did watch the catch-up special last week, so I was pretty much prepared for what was about to happen. So, if you don't know, all the girls and Mona, all were almost killed by the Redcoat in their school, who they think is Allison. So that's pretty much the big plot of this season, is that who is Redcoat? Is Redcoat Allison? And so they pretty much they really don't know if they should trust Mona. But the thing is that Mona was with them, and now she is actually being part of their team now. You know, she is now, you know how we have the dolls in season 2? That's happening with Mona now. Because we see these little kids, and we see how they're playing with dolls, and they said, well, this one's Aria, this one's Emily, this one's Spencer, this one's Hannah, and that one's Mona. And so now there are 5 instead of 4, and I think it's great how they've made Mona part of the team. I didn't really buy Mona as a bad person. I'm not saying I didn't think she was a bad person, but I really didn't buy her that way. And I just thought it came a little on too creepy, especially that crazy episode, season 3, crazy, that one. I didn't really think of her that way. But pretty much they don't really know if they should trust Mona, and they are trying to figure out who Redcoat is, pretty much. So pretty much what happens is, as time goes on, Hannah is actually talking to Mona, but Emily and Spencer are kind of like, why are you talking to Mona? I mean, we can't really trust her. And we see how, and you know what, I don't think it's right for them to say this, because Mona has changed. Mona would not have been in the same place with them if she hadn't changed. Mona is not a bad person. I think Mona was just very jealous of Allison, and, you know, maybe, you know, I think Mona's really changed, and I think they should trust Mona. I didn't really like that they didn't trust Mona. Yes, I could see why they're not trusting Mona, because, I mean, she was A. Now she's not, but she was A. And she was tormenting them and making their lives miserable. So I could see why they're not trusting her, but now she's a good person, so I don't know why they're not trusting her now. And at the end, the ending was very thrilling. They're in the funeral service for, I don't know who it was exactly, but they're in church. Pretty much like for something about Allison, pretty much, and they see Redcoat. And we know 2 things now. We know that it is not Jenna, and we know that it's not Tyler. We know Toby. Who's Tyler? We know that it's not Toby. We know it's not those 2 people. Who's Tyler? I have no idea. Why am I saying Tyler? It's Toby. We know it's not Toby, and it's not Jenna. We don't know who else it could be, though. We did get a little flashback of Allison and was it Garrett or Jason? I don't remember. It was either Garrett or Jason. But it was pretty much the scene where they're saying, I know you want to kiss me, and we saw their relationship. So maybe they're hinting that one of them is going to end up being Redcoat, but we don't really remember. But I don't really remember what it was exactly. And as far as who was in the trunk, when they, they opened up the trunk and they didn't know who was there, I can't exactly remember because it went so fast. So I'm going to look it up right now to see who exactly was in the trunk. It's a dead pig, and the next day the girls discover Wilden's cop car that they abandoned to be surrounded by Rosewood police. Turns out it wasn't just a pig in the car, and it ends up being Wilden's dead body. So Detective Wilden, dead. Detective Wilden is dead. And then we also saw the Queen of Hearts at the funeral, and we know that we don't really know who the Queen of Hearts is. Now, we do find out, though, that Wilden was the Queen of Hearts, but there's another Queen of Hearts. And it turns out that they think it's Melissa, Spencer's sister. Now, why all this time would Melissa be the Queen of Hearts? We haven't seen Melissa since season 2. I do think it's a good way to bring her back, but why all this time would she be, why would all this time she have been, Queen of Hearts? Why all this time would she want to do this for the girls, huh? Because Spencer ruined her life? I don't know. What do you guys think about that? I don't know. So then we see, now when it gets to Aria's storyline. So with Aria, she kind of, as we know, she has broken up with Ezra. And since she has broken up with Ezra, he wants her to see other people pretty much. And we see how halfway through the premiere, Aria is called into the vice principal's office, and an anonymous student had told him about her and Ezra. And there were the photographs, and parents were called. And then Ezra is seen handcuffed. But then we see her back in the principal's office. So was this all a dream, or did it really happen? I think it was just a dream, because immediately after that, we see Aria text Ezra, "I do not want to see other people." So she's having a very hard time. I think pretty much that was her inner conscience. I don't think it was real. I think that was her inner conscience pretty much telling her, she had to go with her gut. She had to say, "I can't see other people," and how I think she's kind of wanting to get back together with him, even though, I think she wants to get back together with him. She knows in her heart that she wants to get back together with him. It wasn't working out for the two of them because he had a son, and she had to take care of him, and she didn't really want a second family. And we also see that Ezra is now the teacher again. He's back as the teacher. So now that this has happened, I don't think it's gonna go well for them. Hopefully they get back together. I'm not like a huge fan of the relationship, but I mean, they're cute, I guess, I guess. But then Aria did agree that they should see other people. So she agreed that they are going to see other people. And I hope this works out for Aria. I'd like to see her happy, and we'll have to see what happens. So then I want to get to the other thing that I want to talk about is we see at the funeral that Allison's mom is back in Rosewood. Why? We see how right before the funeral, we see Allison's mom, and she said pretty much something in the lines of, "Allison would be very proud of you girls," or something like that. So we'll see what happens there. That'll be very interesting to see, I think. And I don't know what's going to happen exactly. So, yeah. Then we see that there's a mysterious person at Wilden's funeral. By the way, it was not Allison, it was Wilden's funeral. I just forgot. they were at Wilden's funeral, and it was pretty much done just like the first season, the first episode with Allison's funeral, except it was done at Wilden's funeral, and Mona is now included. And I really liked how they did that. I thought that was really cool. They had alludes to the previous seasons. I thought that was pretty cool. So now I want to talk about Emily's storyline. So Emily's storyline is, of course, a continuation of last season. Is she going to go to Stanford? Paige is pretty much pushing her to go to Stanford. And I think Paige is a really great girlfriend, honestly. Paige is a great girlfriend for her. But Emily isn't really sure that she wants to go across the country. And the problem is, but, you know, the thing is, Paige wants her to, but Emily doesn't. It's because she knows A is going to show up. Wherever she is, A is going to show up. There's nothing she can do to stop A from showing up. And really, I think Paige could end up being A. I really wanted to happen with Emily's previous girlfriend, Maya, but when she was killed, I think that kind of ruined everything, and that's why it didn't end up being Maya. I just thought it would have been a really big twist. You know, I love shows that have stuff that you don't even expect. I mean, season 2, when we found out it was Mona being A, that was really expected, because that's what happened in the books. And I was hoping Pretty Little Liars was just like the vampires, where it's nothing like the books. And I've heard it's not really like the books, but that was a lot like the books, and I think they should have changed it. So maybe this Queen of Hearts or Redcoat is Paige. Because, I mean, Paige doesn't really know about A. She's never brought it up to her, and Emily's never brought it up to Paige. So when Emily tells Paige, I think it's going to be interesting to see. That's probably going to be the season finale, when Emily finally tells Paige about A. It's probably going to be what the season finale will be. So I think that'll be interesting. And then the last thing I want to talk about, of course, is Spencer's storyline. So Spencer and Toby are back together, but Hannah's kind of worried because of what Toby had done previously. You know, he was A before, and she doesn't really know, just like Mona, just like done with Mona, if Toby should be trusted. And I don't know if Toby should be trusted either. I mean, I'm sure, I think Spencer and Toby are really good together. Honestly, they're probably my favorite couple on here. What happens is, he's a sleuth now, and so he goes back to the lodge completely burnt, looking for clues regarding the mysterious lighter with insignia on it. And instead, he sees a burnt red coat. Later, he brings Spencer along in hopes of finding the jacket to no avail. They entered the ruined lodge looking for more clues, but they got more than they bargained for when Spencer realizes they're not alone, and who was in there with them. And that's what I wonder, too. I mean, I think Toby and Spencer are good together, but at the same time, I don't really know if he can be trusted. And I think they're probably thinking that. Even though Hannah might not have said that to Spencer, I think that's what's on her mind right now is Toby going to be trusted? I mean, Toby was part of the A-team. You gotta remember that. I mean, Jenna, Toby, Garrett, who's dead now, but Jenna, Toby, and Mona were all part of the A-team. So at this point, I feel like they're all going to become good, and if that's what happens, I don't think that's the best thing to do, because, I mean, we got to have some type of recurring villain. We can't just have a new villain introduced every season. I mean, that's really in regards of, like, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, a big bad every season. I don't think that's the way to do it. You know, Buffy the Vampire Slayer was great because it was so creative with the way they did it, but this show, they can't really do anything with them except have hey, text him. So overall, I did think this was a really good premiere. Let me know what you guys thought of the premiere. So much happened. What do you think? Who do you think kills Wilden? That's what I want to know. And who is the Queen of Hearts? We know Wilden was the first one. Who was the second one? Who is Redcoat? That's what I want to know. What do you think? You know, do you think that Aria? Do you think that Aria was, do you think that Aria really, had that whole thing happen with Ezra, or do you think it was all in her head? I thought it was all in her head. And what did you think of the mysterious person? Who do you think that is? I have no idea who that could be. We know it's not Toby, we know it's not Jenna, so who else could it be? I don't know. So that's it for my review. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next video. I did not watch Twisted. I'm going to watch Twisted, and then I will review it for you. So see you then. Bye.